to answer this question, we first need to understand what is religion. Religion, according to the modern, let's call it scientific consensus, is a kind of connection with the supernatural. Religio. Repeated connection. So you are repeatedly connecting yourself to something supernatural, be it a god or a supernatural idea or special philosophy. That would be religion. Repeated connection to something that is supernatural, that is not obvious. So in Buddhism, we do repeatedly connect ourselves to the truth of Nibbana, to the idea that there is something that is unborn, undying, something that is permanent, something that is free from all these five aggregates, namely the body, feelings, perceptions, intentions, and consciousness. So, looking at religion from this, let's say, scientific point of view, Buddhism would be religion, and nothing but religion. But if you look at religion as something, as a trend where you worship a god and you recite enigmatic verses, then Buddhism would perhaps not be very satisfactory in that manner. Although in Buddhism there are gods, there is teaching on gods. In the original Buddhism, I mean, in the scriptures which we believe were the closest to the Buddha's time, you know. And for reciting, yes, even in those scriptures it's suggested that the Buddha said that people do recite, even monks recite certain verses for protection, but mostly it's for reminding ourselves of the proper conduct, of the proper ethics, of the proper livelihood. The Buddha specifically suggested one of his chief supporters to worship gods. We can see that 2 times in the original Tipitaka, in the original scriptures, where the Buddha really suggests that the merchant Anathapindika pays respect to the gods. But in Buddhism, we do not accept as a god anything that would kill or that would steal. The Buddhist gods follow 5 precepts. They don't kill, they don't steal, they don't commit adultery, they don't tell lies, they don't drink alcohol. The gods that would drink alcohol are kicked off the heaven, which is also mentioned. The higher gods, the so-called Brahmas, which are so much worshipped in Hinduism, are also mentioned in our scriptures, but the Buddha is always given a higher status over all gods. And that is because all of these gods, they are believed to have a limited lifespan. Whereas, and after that lifespan, they would be born again based on in this life. But the Buddha has attained the final enlightenment. Therefore, even though he would have a limited lifespan, there is no more birth for the Buddha, because the Buddha passes into Nibbana, which is free from anything that would be impermanent. So in this way, we can say that Buddhism is a religion, but it's not a typical religion. In Buddhism, you are not expected to pay respect to gods. And even though most Buddhists would believe that there are gods, and most Buddhist teachers would suggest that yes, you need to believe that there are gods, the belief in gods doesn't directly support you on your path. What directly supports you on your path is your generosity, ethics, and meditation. So it seems that it still is possible to follow the Buddha's teachings without any worship of gods. Monks are specifically prohibited to pay respect to gods. Monks are prohibited to pay respect to gods. That's because gods are suggested to pay respect to monks. And that's because gods follow only 5 precepts. They don't kill, they don't steal, they don't commit adultery, they don't tell lies, they don't drink alcohol. They follow 8 precepts during the Uposatha days. Gods follow Uposatha days. So during the full moon day, new moon day, the 8th day after the full moon day, and the 8th day after the new moon day, so 4 days every month, gods would not enjoy in singing, dancing, or even sensual pleasures. And of course many other things, but that would be for a different topic. But monks follow over 90 billion rules. And that's incomparably more than what the gods follow. And in the Buddha's teachings, it's the person who lives more ethically who is worthy of respect, who is worthy of worship, who is worthy of salutation. So in Buddhism, gods pay respect to monks who live virtuously, scrupulous, virtuous, pure monks. The more a monk can develop himself, or if it's a nun, herself, in their meditation, in their ethics, in their purity of mind, the more the gods will be interested in that kind of monk or nun, and the more they will themselves approach and pay respect and discuss Dhamma. In Myanmar, I have heard 3 monks who were approached periodically, regularly by gods for advice of Dhamma. 2 of them are still alive. One passed away several decades ago. So gods come usually at night and they shine out their light so much that it looks like during the day. And they approach the monk and they ask the monk to teach them Dhamma, to teach them the teachings of the Buddha. So there is a belief in gods, but monks and the Buddha are always given higher status over those gods.